people, and welcome back to the channel. You know the man, Coach Mike James. You know the brand, P&Z Life Coaching, and I'm back again with another Black Business Booming interview. Stop what you're doing right now. If you haven't already subscribe, hit that bell so you can know every time I drop a Black Business Booming interview, every time I drop an Impactful Conversations, a dub of the day. Check it out. I want you to check out the past interviewees. I'm excited because y'all know what I say. Black Business Booming is a connection thing for me. It's people that I know that I'm connected to, linked to some way, family, whether it's Convoz fam, whether it's UAB fam, Birmingham family. And then I have family, man. And this is a brother for me, man, a connection that I've made. It's been genuine and awesome. So I just appreciate, first of all, your time, bro. And just go ahead, take a moment to introduce yourself. Tell everybody your name and any kind of background and information before we jump into your business.
Let's go. What up, y'all? I hope y'all feeling awesome. So my name is Reggie Abreu. I'm 37 years young. I'm originally born and raised in the Bronx, New York. My wife and I are living in Columbia, Maryland now. Been married for 2 years. Have a baby girl on the way, so super excited. She'll be due on February 8th. Went to college for business, and then eventually after that, got my MBA as well. So that's my background, man.
Love it, man. And yeah, so you mentioned your wife. Your wife is my sis, man, my little sister from UAB. We go way back, and just been an honor knowing you these last couple of years. And definitely, this is our first time. Congrats to y'all. This is, besides text or social media, it's my first time talking to you or seeing you. So congrats to y'all with the little one on the way, man. That's awesome. So I told you before we started, this is a history right here, because I don't typically reach out to people that has a business like yours in the particular style that it is, but there's something about someone who does something and they take it to the next level. We were talking just before we started recording, and you talked about, for you, it's not a game, and that's shown in your passion and how you show up every single day, right? It's about adding value, and you do that. So tell everybody your business, man, and kind of what got you into it and how you started. What was the inspiration behind you doing what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a independent distributor with Herbalife Nutrition. So I'm in the network marketing industry. I've been in business for over 8 years. My first year was part-time. I was building it around grad school. Was able to build my business to an income where I was making more than what I was making in corporate. And I was like, man, I found it. You know what I'm saying? I'm making money. I'm having fun. I'm helping people. And it's just been a beautiful journey. But what gave me the passion to get into this business, one, I did go to school for business, like I said before. So I always knew I wanted to have my own business. I just didn't know how I was going to be able to afford it. Most businesses is going to take you at least $20,000 to $500,000 to open something brick and mortar. So once I got into network marketing, I realized, wow, I have the opportunity to earn as much as I want to, but the overhead is super low because I don't need a commercial location. I don't have to pay employees, insurance, different stuff like that. So I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. And as I was getting clients and helping people get their results, it just really excited me, because it was one thing to get my own results. So using the products, I was able to lose 40 pounds and really make a change in my life after getting to the point where I saw a picture of myself, didn't recognize myself. So that's what spurred the change in my personal life. And then as I got that result and got inspired to start the business side of it, and was able to help other people get results, I was like, wow, we really got something here, because it just felt amazing. I've always loved to help people. I've always done community service, going back to college, and I've always wanted to help people in big and small ways. That was always actually a prayer of mine when I used to pray to God, is like, God, allow me to help people in a big or small way, whether I know it or not. That was always my consistent prayer. And I believe that this was the opportunity that God gave me from that prayer, was to be able to help people through health and fitness, and also through mindset and Heartset, because a big part of the weight loss journey, a big part of being healthy, a big part of making money is having your mind right, is having your heart right. So I get to teach people those principles as well. So it's been a beautiful journey, and we just getting started, man. We just getting started.
I love it, man. And you know, I tell everybody when I'm doing an interview or any kind of discussion, man, I always have my pen and paper ready because I have to take notes. I love picking up knowledge and information from people, and that's not the first time I heard you say that, but it's amazing. Mindset and heart set. That's huge. Like you say, anything you
Oh,
want to do in life, with exactly together, man. It's like the puzzle pieces come together, that mindset, that heart set. So love that. So when you think back to getting started, I know you mentioned really doing it through grad school, but when you think about where you are now and that first thing of getting started, what was one of the challenges you faced in just getting started into the business that you do?
I would say one of the bigger challenges was myself.
Mm,
It wasn't the people around me. It wasn't because I wasn't really the no's would affect me because I did have to get used to dealing with rejection. That wasn't something I really, enjoyed. I was the type of guy before, if we was at the club, I was mainly shooting the shots I knew I was going to make. So I wasn't the biggest risk taker, right?
mm,
Um, but it was really getting myself to think bigger. And it was thanks to my mentor who he taught me how to make a big goal a small thing in my mind.
mm.
And it's when we make that big thing a small thing that we're able to accomplish it. Because if something's big in your mind, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of effort. You have to go through a lot of things. But the smaller you make it, the faster it could come. With more ease it could come. The more resources the universe is going to provide you, right? Because you're making it smaller. You're making it smaller. So that's what I
Right.
really had to learn was to make big financial figures smaller in my mind. How to make goals smaller in my mind. How to make even my personal growth, how I saw myself, it not being as big of a journey or as a hurdle as I thought it was, just making it smaller and smaller and smaller. And I've noticed that at every level, because I'm 8 years in and I still, for the next level for wherever I'm at, I still have to continuously go back to, I have to make this small in my mind. So that's what I'll say is just learning how to think bigger. Just learning how to think bigger much faster was the one of the biggest things I had to learn like really early on. Because when you're at least the jobs that I was at, they're not asking me to think, they're just asking me to do. So,
Do, yeah, yeah.
they're not asking you to use that brain muscle, right? So now it's like literally in what I do, I have to use my mind a lot. Yes, I have to do the business side, but there's an energy side to it, that has to be worked on as well. And that's one of the things I really had to learn.
Yeah, I love that, man. And it's levels to this, right? It's just going back to when we opened, like, you were educated, you were in corporate. So this is something where it's not like, oh, this you just stumbled upon doing this and you like, oh, you're gonna be overnight success. Like you put in the work and the time into that. So I'm bringing that to light because people will be watching and say, oh, well, yeah, well, I do that. It's levels to it, right? You do it on a high level and it's a thing. It's again going back to like what you said, is not a game for you. So I love that. So now in getting started and running your business, being an entrepreneur, what are some of the day-to-day challenges that you face?
Day to day, I could take action and see no result. I could reach out to 20 people and nobody responds. I could lose somebody from my team that I've been working with for the past year, for the past 5 years. Um, you can have people that your clients that they've been buying from you for consistently and then they fall off. So now you're having to look for new clientele. You're dealing from negativity from people around you that either don't believe in what you're providing or don't believe in your industry. Um, so those are some of the negative things, or in business as a whole, not just in network marketing, but you have fluctuations. So I can make a certain amount of money for 3 months in a row, and then the next 3 months I make a different amount of money. It's not like corporate where you know you're going to make the same paycheck every 2 weeks, right? People love that stability, but when you go into the business world, you go into it for the opportunity to earn more, the opportunity to not have a cap in what you're making, right? So with high reward comes great risk as well. So it's that fluctuation of income that's not a day to day, but more so a month to month that can definitely deal with you. Not just more so mentally and emotionally, is something that can be taxing. But I've learned to really take a step back and look at the big picture. And it's like, don't pay attention to the fluctuations. How much am I averaging? You know, I literally did it this morning, like from January through September, what was the average of the income? And it's like, wow, even though there have been fluctuations, I'm making more than I did last year. So I'm winning. So it gives me peace and it allows me to
Right.
relax. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing the big
Yeah.
picture and learning how to see the wins. You learn how to pick up the small wins. You know, even if you're not at your next goal, you're seeing the small wins that you're making. And that helps a lot too.
Man, I love that small. People ask me all the time, right, as a life coach, is that, well, how do you overcome imposter syndrome, or how do you overcome that, self-sabotage, or, all the voices in your mind? And say it again.
What's imposter syndrome?
Okay, so imposter syndrome is the lamest definition is it's when you, despite evident success and success that you have at every level, you still doubt whether you deserve it, or whether you belong, or whether you're supposed to be doing what you do. And wow. You can look back like you did, right? That what you did today was, I call it a self-check or self-session, right? You sat there and wrote it down, and you went from January to September, right? So imposter syndrome would say, well, Reggie, I mean, I see that, but do you think this is right for you? Do you think you deserve this? That's that imposter syndrome. You never feel like you deserve to be doing what you're doing, despite all the evident success.
Wow. I've heard of something similar, but it's called survivor's guilt. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah. Or survivor's guilt. Well, it may be different. Survivor's remorse.
Or remorse.
But yeah. It's very similar. It is very similar. I think one of the biggest differences is a lot of times survivor's guilt or remorse is kind of a looking back once you made it to a certain point, and imposter syndrome is continuous. Every level is just ongoing. But kind of back to what you were saying, it is, man, and it's strong, right? And so if you don't, going back to mindset, Heartset, right, bro, if you don't check that, it's going to be that constant struggle. So the answer I give to people, how do you deal with that, Mike? How do you do that? Is what you just said, that last answer. Celebrate the small wins, celebrate the small successes, because most of those voices and that doubt comes in from these big lofty goals we have, right? Like, your mentor telling you, hey, we got to bring that down to small chunks. Celebrate small wins. If you celebrate getting up out of the bed every day and being able to have the activity of your limbs and being healthy, breathing, to make an impact on somebody. I can smile at somebody today and they smile back. Boom, celebrate all the small wins. And now it's like, that's that fuel to kind of keep you rolling, that snowball effect.
I want people not to sleep on that, bro, because I feel like they hear you. But it's like I literally do it down to everything that I'm supposed to do, right? So like you said, when I wake up in the morning, when I don't hit snooze, I'm like, good job, Reggie.
Yeah.
Right? When I go to the gym, as soon as I finish my workout, I have to take that first step out of the gym after my workout's complete. Good job, Reggie. I'm proud of you.
Man.
As soon as I finish that 10th page of the book that I'm reading that morning, great job, Reggie. As soon as I finish, my prayer in the morning, great job, Reggie. Because a lot of times you'll hear people that are disciplined, right, with their routine. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So they're not giving themselves credit. But then when they don't do what they're supposed to do, quote, quote, they beat themselves up, which I used to do.
There you go.
So if you're going to beat yourself up about what you're not doing, you got to give it the same energy for what you are doing. But what starts to happen is momentum builds. So because I'm giving myself acknowledgement, I'm acknowledging myself, not waiting for somebody else to acknowledge me. I'm doing it for myself, right? Because I set the standard. I get so used to acknowledging myself, I kind of forget how to beat myself up.
Love it.
And I do it all throughout with the little things. If I said I was going to call somebody after I do this podcast, good job, Reggie. You showed up early. You did what you said you were going to do. You did it until completion. Good job. You know what I'm saying? So that's an art. It's a beautiful thing that you can do for yourself, and it'll increase your self-love, self-respect. It's a beautiful thing.
gems dropping. You know, I say this in every interview, bro. I say, you know what, I gotta get. If I had like the blowhorn, it's every time it's a gem drop. One of these days it's gonna pop up. But no, I love that you said, you know, I want people to really not sleep on that. And being when you talked about, it really just hit home for me when you said when you don't snooze and you get up when you finish your workout. That hit home for me because seriously, bro, whether it's a mediocre workout or whatever, you know, especially when I do it and I'm out of the door by 4:30, I'm in the gym by 5. Every single time, man, when I walk out of the gym doors, rain or shine, even if it's gonna be raining, I look up and you know my hat bib is green, so it kind of disappeared from my green screen. But anyway, every time I walk out the gym, bro, I look up just like this and I smile, and it's just my acknowledgement of thank you. Like, man, I had another opportunity to do something I love, that's helping me show up, you know, show up every day, speak to these youth, coach, and do what I do. And it's impacting my health. So I'm just grateful for that. So what you said, every little thing is intentional with it. So man, that's so awesome. And I hope that everybody's watching that you'll take note of that. Like celebrate for anybody watching that struggles with those things. Celebrate every single thing. Man, I got up, I did this, I stretched, I read 2 pages. I read a chapter, you know, I did something that's going to give back to whatever I'm doing to better myself or the people around me, you know, so that's awesome. So we talked about challenges, bro, day to day. On the flip side of that coin, what are some of the most satisfying parts of now seeing your journey? And you mentioned too, you know, how long have you been in the business and doing what you're doing now? How long has it been?
So I've been in business for 8 years now. So I'm excited. I got 2 more years for the 10-year mark. And that's what they say. If you've been putting in the hours, you know, you're pretty much at the expert level once you get to 10 years. So I consider myself a baby in this, you know what I'm saying? As far as the success that I've experienced, the finances have been great. Out of the last 4 years, I've earned over 6 figures in the last 3 out of 4 years. So great financial success. At least for me, because that was one of my goals was to get to 6 figures. I remember getting to DC and they were like, yo, you made it here once you make 6 figures, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm around people where, you know, they're making a little more than 6 figures in a year, you know, so I'll just put it like that. So it expands your mind, right? And, you know, we're having a family, having a wife, you know, having a baby on the way. It's like, yo, I get to provide for more people around me because now it's not just me. Right, I have a family. I want to provide more for my team, and I want to provide more for my community. Right, so you know, we got to tap into that income more. You know what I'm saying? But one of the biggest things that I get to that's been part of my success is just being able to add value to people's lives. I've had people that have lost as much as 200 pounds, and people that have gained as much as 30 pounds of healthy weight. So many people that I've been able to help with their health and fitness. I remember one of my business partners who's a personal trainer who, you know, also is an Herbalife distributor. And he's a top personal trainer in the area. And he looked at my client portfolio of my client results. And he was like, bro, you have way more results from your clients than I do. And I'm a top trainer in the area. I've been training for over 10 years, right? So I've been able to help a lot of people with their health and fitness, help a lot of people with, you know, adding another stream of income to their lifestyle with, you know, the opportunity as well. And just helping people to, again, like we talked about before, grow their heart set and their mindset. That's something I take a lot of pride in because I'm reading every day, right? But the lesson isn't learned until you pay it forward, until you teach it to somebody else. That's when it's truly integrated because I have to you know, pay it forward and keep it simple so that you can take it in and apply it, right? So there's so many people that have thanked me throughout the years, like, hey, Reg, thank you for sharing this book with me. Hey, Reg, thank you for saying this to me because I was able to take this on. Thank you for pushing me in this area. Thank you, you know, just for helping them with their personal growth and just becoming better people, right? So that's been super satisfying. And I'd say one of the biggest things that I've recently came into was getting myself. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, whether they be in business, corporate, you hear it in music and sports as well. They come into all the money, fame, and all these different things. And I'm not a millionaire. I'm not, on your TV and stuff like that. But I've experienced success, right? But I've also, you hear stories of people that have gone very far, but they don't have themselves. They're unhappy, right? And one thing that I really learned how to do is to be happy in isolation, to be happy if things are not so great. Like, honestly, I know a lot of people's experience during COVID was, man, this is like one of the worst times of life. And I felt like, bro, this is actually amazing because I'm really learning a lot about myself. I'm refining my routine on a whole nother level. I'm learning to focus on what I'm grateful for, right? So it's just really learning how to be happy with myself, within myself, regardless of what the outside circumstances are, regardless if they're good or bad or indifferent, learning to have myself. And I tell a lot of my team, man, that's the real bag. Your happiness is the bag. That's the real bag. Because if you get to the money bag and you ain't got yourself, what's it for? You know what I'm saying? If you get married and you're still not happy within yourself, what's it for? If you get the body of your dreams and you still feel like, it's not enough, you're not there yet, what's it for? So it's learning how to be happy right now before you get the thing on the person, and it's just a cherry on top. So that's why I would say is that sense of self has been one of the biggest prizes that my business has allowed me, because the business forces me to work on myself, to learn how to communicate, to accumulate skills, all these different things, to work on my fears and my doubts, my limitations, and make them go away, disappear, right? So that's what I say is one of my biggest successes within this business.
That's awesome. I love that analogy too with the bag. Like, what good is getting the bag if you're not, if you haven't fully found that joy for yourself, man? That's a bag with a lot of holes in it. Like, as quick as you fill that bag up, it's going to be falling right out, man, if you don't work on this right here, that mind-heart connection. So I love that. So for the whole time we've been talking, man, and having this conversation, has been awesome. You've been dropping gems, but anything else on top of what you've already given, because it's been so amazing. But for the person watching, like, okay, and I ask you that, and I'm glad you answered it like that, because I wanted people to see also in network marketing, again, why we're having this conversation, because like I said, there's levels to this, right? You talked about the years you've been doing it and the success you've seen. And I told you before we started, I wanted to be an inspiration to people too, because I've been there, I've seen that. And a lot of people, I wanted that to come out, 8 years in this thing, people do it a year, 2, 3, lucky if they make it 5. But for you to continue and be at that point where, like you said, that expert level, I love that. So for someone watching that says, okay, I'm thinking about starting this business, it's been right here, all these books, I'm reading about it, or want to go into entrepreneurship, what is some advice that you would give that person that wants to get started into the business world or start a business?
I would say, one, you got to do a business that you believe in. A lot of times people are trying to do businesses because it's going to be lucrative. Oh, this is the top industry right now. This is what a lot of people are making money in. Let me go do that. But they don't really care about that product or service. It's not really interesting to them. They're not passionate about it. We all hear it all the time. Whatever you're passionate about, you're going to put the work towards it. And if you put the work towards it, that's where the money comes, right? So you got to do something that you're passionate about. So for me, I've always been passionate about fitness. I didn't really know as much about nutrition, but I learned about it through my weight loss journey, right? Because I saw, wow, I'm working out 5 to 7 times a week. This weight's not coming off. But once I focused on the nutrition, I actually was able to work out less and see better results than I'd seen even when I wasn't at my best. I'm like, all right, so there's something to this nutrition thing, right? So that really got me interested in nutrition, but I've always been into health and fitness, right? So it was already in alignment with my passion. And I've always been into, once I got exposed to personal growth and reading and audiobooks and seminars, that's also been a passion of mine as well. So what I do now is in alignment with what I love. It's in alignment with my interests, right? So I'm not having to fake the funk. I'm not having to drag myself to do something that I truly inside don't want to do. So I'd say that's number one, is to really choose something that you love to do. And there's so many people that are great at so many different things. Like I saw this post that said the inventor of, what was it? I think it's the little rubber tubes that people get into when they're at the pool, right? It said this guy's a millionaire. And they're like, yo, who would have thought that this random invention that you just use in the pool would lead to so much money? But he saw a need for it. He was passionate about it. He was like, this is something that people can benefit from, right? So it's about really pursuing what you love. And then I would say in business is like, you got to work on your mind and you got to work on your heart. And the heart part I've learned later on, I would say more so in the past 2 years. And it's crazy because when my mentor said it to me, I remember a conversation we had. He said, yo, Reggie, you worked a lot on your mind. You need to work on your heart. And as a man, I wasn't trying to hear that, because I'm like, man, heart, hugs, kisses, man, that's soft, man. I ain't trying to be about it. But what he was really trying to tell me was like, you have to learn how to, one, harness your emotions. You have to learn how to be present to your emotions, right? You got to learn how to let go of the past. You got to learn how to forgive. You got to let go of anger. If there's any anger in you, you got to get past your fears, right? You got to let go of anxiety. I think they say the most YouTubed topic is about anxiety. It's literally people are trying to figure out how to not be so anxious, worrying about a future that hasn't even happened yet, right? So he was really trying to tell me you have to learn how to deal with those emotions instead of escaping. And we all escape in different ways, right? Through food, drugs, alcohol, toxic relationships, pornography, so many different things, right? But it's like, no, facing the emotion. So how I was really able to do that was through therapy, right? I do therapy twice a month, right? Where I'm able to have a safe space to talk about how I feel, and I'm not judged, and I'm actually listened to, and I journal every day. I journal about what I'm grateful for.
Big, huge.
Yeah. And I write down how I'm feeling. So if I'm mad about something, I write about it to let it out, to let it go. But then I'm also changing my perspective throughout it. So I may write about something that I'm mad about, but then I work towards how can I look at this differently by the end of my journal entry, so that I can at least be 1% better in the right direction, because I'm looking at it a little differently, and a different perspective to give you a totally different life. So that's what I would say is really, like I said, doing a business that you're passionate about, an industry that you're passionate about, and working on yourself, because your business is gonna highlight your greatest strengths, and it's also gonna highlight your greatest weakness.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
Money management, if you're not great with it, it's gonna expose you. If you're not great with relationships, it's gonna expose you, right? If you have self-doubts, you're going to get exposed. And those are the things that you get to work on. So you literally can look up a book on, if you're not good with money, how to be good with money. If you're not good with relationship building, communicating, there's so many books out there on it, right? So it's literally just working on those things. So that's what I would say.
Man, that's great. That's great advice. And definitely for everyone watching, take some notes on that. That's amazing. And even for your teenagers that want to do a business or whatever, definitely refer them back to this interview, because that's huge.
Man, bro, I love that you say that, because it's crazy. I would implore any teenager that's on here to start their business, because you're at the age where you don't even have to go straight into corporate. If you have an idea, if you have a passion, you could start your business right now. You won't get critiqued by people like that, because they're not going to be saying, oh, you need to go get a job. You're so young, you could take the risk, and you're in high school, you're in elementary, whatever, and you see it. How many kids are we seeing that are starting businesses? We got that kid on that he's reviewing toys and he making bank, bro.
Yeah, big bank.
Big bank. You know what I'm saying? So it's man, that's such a beautiful opportunity. to start a business so young. And it's crazy when I think about it. You remember those the candy sales? Did y'all do candy sales in elementary school?
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah,
bro,
for sure.
that was
The whole
something.
box.
Yeah, you had the magazine and the people would pick out what candy they want to order from you.
Hmm.
Bro, I used to always be like at least top 3 every year when it came to the candy. Because I love those candies. So that's why I
Right.
was so much. I was passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I always had some business in me. But yeah, I definitely agree. Teenagers, man, start your business.
Yeah, start now, man. And that's one of the things too, on top of what you said, that's common as well. The one of the answers I get is um to do something you're passionate about, right? And do your research, but also so often people say do it, do it. Recognize the fear, whatever comes with it, and do it anyway. Prepare yourself, but do it because that dream that you have, that passion that you have is sitting there. It's in that incubator of your mind, but until you actually start that process, you won't be able to see that blossom. You won't be able to see the fruits or enjoy the fruits of your labor. So yeah, it definitely encourage people to do that. So bro, with Reggie, I mean, again, I'm just, I love what you do and your approach and how you show up and add value. So, with your business and what you have going on, what's next? What's next? The next frontier you talked about. First of all, I'm celebrating in advance for your 10-year mark in business, man. That's amazing. I remember when I was training, personal training full time. They say to be an expert is 10 years or 10,000 hours. And I can remember I sat one time at my last job and I started doing the math. And I was like, man, I'm an expert in this thing. Not just for the time, right? But also how I dealt with people, which is one of the reasons why I sit in this seat and I have my life coaching business, because it was about making that impact and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to do even greater beyond that. So with all that in mind, man, what's next for your business, man, and where you're going?
Man, what's next? So we've been averaging over $1 million in sales a year, 3 out of the last 4 years, and I see 2.5 million. Right. So what that means is more income for myself, of course, but also more of my team members having greater incomes, greater lifestyles. Because it's one thing to have freed myself from the rat race, if you will, right? But we gotta do the Harriet Tubman, and we gotta go back to free those that aren't free.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I'm around that are like, yo, I want to be free too. It's not even about, not having a boss and stuff like that, but it's more so being able to do something I'm passionate about as my full time, right? Not only getting to give half of my time to it. This is what I truly want to dedicate my life to. So just supporting people and getting to that point where they can have the lifestyle that they want, more people to that point. And also opening our next location. I live in Columbia, Maryland, so I see something here within my community. I meet so many people locally that are like, yo, are you a trainer? Like, always asking about health and fitness. So to have somewhere locally where I can invite people to and create a community, and not just a community, but a movement, man, just get people together, getting healthy, fun, being positive, enjoying each other, making connections that they wouldn't otherwise have, and just continuing to open more locations nationwide. We have some locations in Baltimore. We have one in Laurel. We have one open in Ohio. So at least I'd say at least 10, within the next 2 years, having 10 locations. So just impacting more people, making more money with it, experiencing more life. But that's what I see. That's what I see.
I love it. I love it, man. So let everybody know, just take a moment, let everybody know how they can connect with you, find out more about what you do, and just be a witness and a supporter of this journey, man.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, if you're on Facebook, my name is Reggie Abreu, last name A as in apple, B as in boy, R as in Reggie, E as in elephant, U as in under, Reggie Abreu. And then if you're on Instagram, my handle is at build your temple 247. Right. So you'll see a lot of my personal results with my health and fitness journey, a lot of my client results, the community that we've built. I post a lot of just personal growth stuff. Because like I said, I love to read and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be launching pretty much a series where I'll be sharing from each book that I read, because I really like I learned so much content. I'm like, yo, people, if you're not gonna read the book, I'm gonna give you some points from the book just to make it simple for you, where at least you feel like you read it, or all right, I need to go read this book, right? Because it's just, and I know you feel like this too, bro. Like it's a crazy how much information is out here. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
left like, we can tap into authors that don't even live in our time. People that wrote in the 1900s, 1800s and left us nuggets and was like, yo, Mike, this is what I did wrong. Don't do this. Do this. This is what I did with my money. This is what I did with my marriage. This is what I did with my health and fitness. This is what I did for my happiness. And they're giving us the roadmap. And they're saying, yo, I'm going to save you time. I'm going to save you 5 years, 10 years in your journey where you don't got to make as many mistakes. Right. So I just really want to ramp that up on my social media as well. So it's not just health and fitness and network marketing. It's personal growth. It's adding value. How can I give back? How can I just help you become a better person as I'm becoming a better person? So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And of course, I encourage all of you to connect with Reggie, man, to see all the awesome things that he does and how he shows up. Bro, I'm telling you, man, like you are that accountability partner. If I'm having one of those weeks, and honestly, this week's been crazy, and I'm having one of those weeks, I see one of your posts, you and your boys working out, or you doing something, smoothies or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's go, get back to it, Mike. And you check in on me, and we holler at each other from time to time. So I love it. So I definitely want people to connect with you. I'll have some information in the description below. And I truly appreciate your time, bro, for doing this, man. And of course, thank you for everybody that's watching. Comment, let us know what you think, man. Let us know what you thought about the interview and what stood out to you. We look forward to hearing from you. Reggie, thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you, my bro. Yes, sir. And for everybody watching, we thank you all, and we encourage you to check us out next time on another episode of Black Business Booming. Peace.
Let's go.